Oh my gosh, you guys! Can you believe what we're about to dive into today? It's absolutely wild. Welcome back to Talkin Trash with Jack, where we take the craziest news and turn it into pure comedy gold. Today's topic is so outrageous, I almost fell out of my chair when I heard it. Get this. We're talking about none other than Donald J. Trump and his absolutely bonkers idea to rename the Gulf of Mexico. And you won't believe what he wants to call it. The Gulf of America. I mean, seriously? This is next-level absurdity, folks. It's like he looked at a map and said, nah, that's too Mexican. Joining me today is one of my favorite people, a guy who's always ready to roast Trump like a perfectly grilled taco, comedian and proud Mexican, Eduardo Martinez. Eddie, welcome to the show.
Hola, Jack, haha. Or should I say, greetings from the soon-to-be American Gulf. Man, I woke up today, read the headline, and thought, this has to be an Onion article. But no, it's real. Leave it to Trump to look at a map and think, how can I make this more about me?
Right? The man already has hotels with his name in giant gold letters. Now he wants his legacy stamped onto the ocean. What's next, Eddie? Rebranding the Pacific Ocean as the Trump Sea? Ha.
Don't give him ideas, Jack. He'll be out there saying, the Pacific has been a disaster for too long, folks. I've done more for the oceans than anyone. We're calling it Trump's tremendous waters now.
Oh, 100%. And you just know his reasoning would be insane. Like, why is the Gulf called Mexico when we won't even let their boats in without a visa? Shouldn't it belong to America, where the best boats are made?
Right, because nothing screams oceanic diplomacy like a guy who can't swim renaming the water. I mean, Jack, let's be honest. Trump probably doesn't even know where the Gulf of Mexico is. If you handed him a map, he'd be like, is it near Ohio?
Eddie, this is the same guy who thought Finland was part of Russia and confused Kansas City, Missouri, with Kansas. Geography is not his strong suit.
Not at all. He probably thinks the Gulf of Mexico is called that because Mexicans own it. Like, he's imagining a bunch of guys in sombreros sitting on boats, sipping tequila, and collecting rent from the fish.
Oh my God, yes! And you know he'd try to evict them. Like, fish are paying too much in taxes, folks. We're going to lower the cost of fishing, make the Gulf great again, and call it ours. Mexico can find their own Gulf.
Dude, I can already picture his press conference. He'd be standing on a beach wearing a MAGA hat and holding a tiny American flag saying, we're taking back the water, people. This is the biggest rebrand since Coca-Cola went classic.
And then Fox News would run with it. President Trump heroically saves American waters from Mexican influence. Meanwhile, CNN would be like, this just in. Trump thinks renaming water is a foreign policy win.
Bro, the memes would be insane. Mexicans would have a field day. We'd Photoshop him riding a jet ski made of gold, wearing an Uncle Sam suit, with the Gulf in the background holding up a sign saying, still not yours.
Eddie, you're killing me. Okay, let's break this down. The Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, has been called that for centuries. Renaming it is like trying to rewrite history with a Sharpie. How do you even sell this idea to people?
Easy. He'd spin it like this. Folks, Mexico has been freeloading off this Gulf for too long. They're fishing in our waters, swimming in our waves, and sending us their hurricanes. It's time to take control.
Wait. Hurricanes? You know he'd tweet something insane like, hurricane season is a Mexican conspiracy. They send storms, we send aid. Sad?
Exactly. And then he'd announce a hurricane tax. Like, if a storm forms in the Gulf of America, we're billing Mexico for wind damages. Meanwhile, Mexico's just sitting there like, bro, hurricanes don't have passports.
This is comedy gold, Eddie. But let's flip the script. What if Mexico retaliates? What would you guys rename the Gulf?
Oh, that's easy. El Golfo Mexicano de siempre. The Gulf that's always been Mexican. Or maybe we'd rename the Mississippi River El Rio Grande Dos, just to mess with you.
Or, hear me out, you rename Florida. Just claim the whole state.
We do it out of spite, Jack. Like, Florida, that's Nueva Cancun now. We'd put taco trucks on every corner and replace Disney World with a giant piñata park.
Honestly, Florida might actually improve under Mexican management. Okay, but real talk, Eddie. How do Mexicans really feel about Trump?
Oh man, he's a walking punchline for us. Like, we don't even get mad anymore. We just roast him. Every time he says something stupid, we're like, ay, gringos, come get your guy. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Like a piñata full of bad ideas.
Speaking of bad ideas, let's brainstorm what would actually happen if he pulled this off. Would the Gulf have new rules? Like, Would Americans need a passport to fish there?
Jack, it'd be worse. He'd privatize the Gulf. Next thing you know, you're at the beach, and there's a guy charging you $20 to swim. Sorry, ma'am. No swimming unless you're wearing official Trump-branded water shoes.
And the Gulf would have its own anthem. Trump would hire Kid Rock to sing it. Welcome to the Gulf of America.
Oh my God, stop. And he'd probably try to build a wall in the water. Like, we're building a seawall to keep out illegal fish migration. Meanwhile, the fish are just swimming around it like, what is this guy doing?
Eddie, I can't take it anymore. This is too good. But before we wrap up, what's your final message to Trump, assuming he ever listens to this podcast?
Just this, Donnie. If you're going to rename the Gulf, at least invite us Mexicans to the party. We'll bring the tequila, you bring the ridiculous ideas, and together, we'll create the most hilarious geopolitical disaster ever. Cheers, buddy.
Perfectly said, Eddie. Folks, thanks for tuning in to Talkin Trash with Jack. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, especially when the world feels like a joke. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and stay tuned for next episode. Florida man declares independence from America. Until then, this is Jack signing off. Stay laughing, people.